What is going on, everybody? Welcome on into the stream. It is your boy RB. Welcome into Philly Take with RB. Today, we have a special guest, back from the dead, back out of retirement. This man
Yeah,
literally pulled a 2-5 on us. He really did. DJ, what's going on, man?
back out of forced retirement. Yeah. What's up,
Like
man?
Jumpe.
Yeah, we'll just squash it right at the beginning of the stream so people don't ask it the whole time. I'm dealing with a copyright strikes. I'm dealing with copyright strikes on my YouTube channel. That doesn't mean they're legitimate copyright infringements. It just means somebody claimed copyright and the channel gets locked for 14 days. Uh That's kind of all I'm going to say about it. It's a long story. I told it on Twitch. I got a cease and desist letter for telling the story on Twitch. They printed out my tweets and sent them to me in the mail. It is insane. Uh, and nothing's really going to happen to me or the channel, and I could keep doing it, but it's just everything I say is just going to turn into more nonsense. So, the channel will be back soon, and I'm ready to get back on the grind and back locked in. Some I don't know. I don't want to say. I just don't want to say what I really want to say. I don't want to say it, man, because who knows? I don't know how bullying goes on YouTube, man. Maybe they'll shut down your channel and everything for me saying something. I don't know.
Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. And what we need to do, we need to go show him some love on his channel, man. So run it back, Philly, if you guys are not yet. And if you're in here, man, go subscribe to his channel. Again, hit that like button for us, man. Hope to see you guys in here. We were trying to get the others on, but they were not available. So it is the dynamic duo. We are going to talk Sixers, Kings last night. Not sure if DJ watched the game. We're going to talk Tyrese Maxey. I'm sure you guys, like myself, are dying to hear what DJ thinks about Tyrese Maxey. And we got the Sixers and Warriors tomorrow night. And then we finally go home. And hopefully we'll get our players back. It's been a rough stretch watching the Sixers. It kind of reminds me of last year. I feel like this is literally last year part 2. I'm
Yeah,
watching the games, I'm going through, but am I really like intrigued and engaged? No. What do you think?
yeah. I feel the same exact way, and I thought it was just going to be one season like that. I mean, this is turning into 3, right? It was the bubble, and then it was last season, and now it's this season, and it's like, I don't know, man. When's it going to end? Um, I don't want to get all coronavirus talk on here, but it's just annoying at this point. I don't know. I don't get it. My kid's out of school for 7 days right now, because somebody got it and he tested negative right away, and he still has to sit out of school for 7 days. I don't understand it, but that's what they're doing in the NBA. It keeps happening. It's never going to end. Uh, and yeah, it's hard to stay interested. It's at least we have Tyrese Maxey, because that at least you're like, oh, nobody's playing. At least we're going to get to see Tyrese Maxey take 30 shots, and maybe drop whatever in a game. And it's at least that's been fun to keep up with. I've been like working a lot and not really paying that much attention, but I've been catching the Tyrese Maxey highlights at least.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride. Joel Embiid's been out, Tobias Harris has been out, Isaiah Joe was out, Matisse Thybulle. Every guy, I think the only 2 guys to play every game are Tyrese Maxey and Georges Niang. Every other guy's been out. Now, the Sixers started 8-2. Unfortunately, after an amazing start, we fall. We dropped 5 in a row, and then we battle a couple games, and here we are. We're 10-8. We got a good win though last night, down 4 starters against the Sacramento Kings. By the way, if you guys didn't see either of us on Twitter or my community post, the Kings, like I predicted, are going to be the ones to probably trade for 2-5, because that franchise is literally a joke. I'm sorry. Like, how do you fire Luke Walton and then the next day you're going up against literally backups and Tyrese Maxey? None of the starters from last year played last night, and the Kings blow a lead and lose at home when I thought they would be like really fired up under a new coach. How does that even happen? They need to do something immediately.
Right, because that just shows you that it had nothing to do with the coach, I think, or it had to do with the coach and the management and more problems because they have talent on the roster. That's the thing about it. Like, you lose to Tyrese Maxey and Andre Drummond and, a bunch of role players, and you got De'Aaron Fox out there, Tyrese Halliburton or Tyler Halliburton, however you say his name.
Tyrese.
a player that they apparently don't want to trade, that he's that good. And it's like, all right, where's this guy? You got Buddy Hield out there who was on fire in like the first quarter, I think, dropped 4 threes in the first quarter. But Harrison Barnes, like, they got a lot of talent. They should be able to beat 7 Sixers players.
Right.
It's crazy, really.
I don't get it, man. And it's like I feel like nobody other than maybe Andre Drummond and Tyrese Maxey, like nobody even played like their top-notch game last night, and we still found a way to win. Early in the game, it seemed like Buddy Hield was about to go off for like 50 points.
Mhm.
You know, Fox was hitting these crazy step back Jays, and like I don't know, the Kings are just bad. Like they need to make something happen. Give me Buddy Hield, Tyrese Halliburton, and yeah, I mean that would be a really good trade for us.
Yeah, I didn't really get to watch the second half. Like with those 2 things you just mentioned, what do you think happened in the second half? Those guys just went cold and they couldn't hit a shot, or I
The
mean,
Kings just their offense disappeared in the fourth quarter. It absolutely
yeah.
disappeared, and they were just playing ISO ball, and they didn't play any defense. And the Sixers went on a 22-4 run in the fourth quarter without any starters. Like crazy.
Yeah, from what I watched, Tyrese Maxey's too quick. He's too quick against good defense, but the way they were trying to guard him is just not going to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Especially in that fourth quarter, one of the pick and rolls, just off the top of my head, the center's way too high, and you're done. You come
right.
up that high on
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey, you're done. How is that not part of the game plan?
I know. It's unbelievable. And that kid, we might as well just get right into Tyrese Maxey. He only shot 8 for 22 last night, 24 points, but he's had these games above 30. Every game, this kid plays with more confidence. It's just instilled in him. And he's got that dog, he's got that Philly mentality. Um, Honestly, if the Sixers were going to go through a situation like this with their point guard, I feel like Tyrese was the perfect guy to take over. Um, and nothing gets to that kid. There, all the adversity, he could have, pouted his way through the beginning of the season. I'm hearing him talk. He's like, yeah, I don't even care if I score as long as we win. He's the complete opposite of who. Um, and I've been like we all said this guy was going to have a really good season. I don't think we expected it this fast, but his growth is insane. Like he's not even turning the ball over. I mean, for the last like 6, 7 games, I think he's
It's wild.
averaging 0.6 turnovers a game. Like the kid is growing at an insane rate. He's hitting threes, the little midi, the signature floater. The kid
Mhm.
is doing everything for this team right now, and we need to let him rock. But let's hear your thoughts. Like, just tell us how you feel about Tyrese as a whole.
Yeah, I think it's that like chip on your shoulder mentality, or always wanting to prove something to somebody. Somebody that's undersized in the first place always has that, like, you're not big enough to play in the NBA type of thing. He probably had that his whole life. So he's probably been told the opposite of who was told his whole life, you're the next LeBron James, you're the next Magic Johnson, you're great, you're amazing. Oh, everyone's a hater. It's the opposite of that, where this kid his whole life was told, yeah, you're probably just not big enough to play in the NBA. You're great, but you're probably just not going to be in the NBA. And he just, like, through high school, college, through everything, he just keeps proving people wrong. And so he gets to the NBA and he's so used to having to prove people wrong, he has no issue with it. And he's so ready to learn something new because he wants to be great. And that's just in someone's DNA. The way that he's learned the point guard position, I remember the first game of the season, I think we all overreacted like crazy. And we were like, I don't know, he's just not a point guard. Like, he's just a scorer. Like, maybe we need a point guard. And then just the way Doc and Sam Cassell and everybody's been working with him and how much he's learned. When you watch him now run a pick and roll, read where the hedge is, and step back and run it again to the other side, like, that's Chris Paul level stuff. He's reading the entire floor as it's happening. I'm actually blown away by the things that he's doing with, like, decision making at the top of the key and running a point guard position. And I'm also just so happy to watch an actual point guard play basketball on the Sixers. So
Yeah,
yeah, he's incredible.
yeah,
And it's the exact opposite of somebody being told their whole life you're amazing, and you're going to walk into the NBA.
yeah.
I thought about LeBron James when I said that a couple seconds ago, and that's different too. I think somebody with so much hype should be pressured to be good. Like, okay, now I have to live up to it. But 2-5, it was just like, nah, I don't have to live up to anything. You guys can all
Yeah.
kiss my ass. I do whatever I want.
Yeah, and imagine what he's feeling now, seeing Tyrese Maxey just absolutely shred defenses. He's like, "Yeah, I'm definitely never going back there." But Tyrese is almost averaging 19 a game. He just turned 21 years old. I made a point a couple days ago. I'm wondering your take on this. Like, I know that he has to kind of like, and we'll talk about this for sure. I want to get your take on this later on. But like, there seems to be a split. I know you've been away for a couple weeks. There seems to be a split among Sixers fans when it comes to Tobias Harris. Like, is he being efficient when he's putting up 27, 28, or is he taking away touches from Tyrese Maxey? So I've been kind of going back and forth with it. But in terms of Tyrese, like, he fell to a team that already had 3 to 4 other options on the offensive side of the ball, right? I
Mhm.
feel like if Tyrese was on one of those like rebuilding teams right now, even in his second year, I feel like this kid would be averaging 28 a game, 30
Mhm.
a game. Like, he is that good. And when I see it, like, it's the growth, but it's more so just being relentless, right? Like, Tyrese can come down, he can go up off the wrong foot, fall out of bounds, miss a layup by 3 feet. The next drive down the floor, he's ready to attack again. And it's like, how long have we been talking about a point guard just doing point guard things? But he takes it to another level. And honestly, if he keeps playing like this, I know his numbers are probably going to drop a bit when Joel comes back, but like, he, in my eyes, he's starting to be in the all-star conversation. He's been one of the most efficient players in the league.
Yeah, I think the Tobias Harris thing, it's going to be tough because it's always good to add Tobias Harris to a recipe, right? He's a scorer. Um, but I think Tobias Harris doesn't quite realize yet that Tyrese Maxey's running the show. This is not the Tobias Harris show. It's just not. You're fourth option on a championship level team. You're a good scorer, but everybody's out. That doesn't mean it's the Tobias Harris show. And at the end of the Portland game, was it when they
Yeah.
almost had a comeback and Tobias had like 4 possessions in a row that were just awful. It's not the Tobias Harris show, and it's gonna. I don't know if anybody's gonna actually tell him that, but from what I'm watching, like Tyrese might be number two. It might be Embiid Tyrese. Like he's running the whole show. Everything happening on the floor is centered around what he's doing with the ball. And Tobias is gonna have to learn, like, listen, you get your shots, but don't go Russell Westbrook on us here in the fourth quarter and start taking the ball from Kevin Durant and shooting us out of the game.
Yeah.
Uh People are saying we're better without Tobias. I don't know. I go back and forth with that. I think the ball
Yeah.
moves better when he's not on the floor, but that doesn't mean we're better. I think he's a
Right.
better player than Korkmaz or some other guys that are out there.
Yeah. My thing with Tyrese is like, or just anybody, and I would like to know from you as well. Like, do you think it falls more on Tobias Harris or does it fall on Doc Rivers? Because first off, when it comes to Tyrese or just anybody, like, even since Tobias Harris came back, we were 1-4, I believe, in the games that Tobias did play before he missed yesterday. And I just felt like even against the Knicks and the Bucks without Tobias, like, the ball is just moving much more. Like, everything is just free flowing. And when it comes to a guy like Tyrese, right, or Seth Curry, his numbers have dipped. Why? Because there's just too much stagnant offense going on. Like, why
Mhm.
don't we stay with the hot hand? Tyrese Maxey, you talk about the Portland game, right? Tobias had what, 3 terrible possessions late in that game. Tyrese was going gritty and one, stepping into a three, like hitting the biggest shots. Why don't you stay with that guy? I don't understand. And as it relates to Tobias, like, I'm actually putting it more on Doc Rivers because you can't come down and run 4 out and 1 in with Tobias Harris. That's not who he is. He's a guy, you give it to him at the mid-range, let him take a dribble or two and put it up. Tobias, to me, is a really good third option on a championship team. But when Joel is out, and of course this will be masked when Joel comes back, but like, you can't run your whole offense through Tobias. Like, that's
No.
why we're struggling. And I feel like some of the bench guys are hurting from this. We know what Tobias is. He's overpaid. We can't do anything about it. But I'm not ready to sit up here and say, like you said, trade Tobias, because then where do we go as a franchise? Like, I feel like that's way too reactionary for people saying that. We need one more piece, and we need Joel to come back and be healthy.
Yeah, because I think over the years I've seen teams play without their stars and win like 4 or 5 games in a row, and everybody freaks out. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh my god, look, they're better without the Knicks were better without Carmelo Anthony, and Jeremy Lin was going off. Like, are they really better without Carmelo Anthony? You know what I mean? And the ball does move better because you don't have guys like searching for shots. It's just rotating around the perimeter, and whoever's open shoots it, or they pass it, or they do whatever. So I think without stars on the floor, the ball is always going to move better on any team. But I don't think that makes you like a better team without those players.
Yeah. I
Like long
just
run.
think I think Tobias, we need to lower our expectations a little bit because Tobias comes down and gives it his all. But even with say 2-5 being out this year, we're missing $30 million. Like we're not, I'm at least me, I'm not expecting Tobias to be like a solid second option because that's not what he is. He's a 20 point per game type of guy, and that's it. He's going to give you what he gives you. And it's not like we're expecting his potential to be some other astronomical level and he's just not doing it. We just know what he is. He's severely overpaid. We get that. But
Uh-huh.
now with the emergence of Tyrese Maxey, like I feel like we just have to like scheme it better. We have to fit everybody, all these pieces in, and Doc's got to do a better job at not letting the offense just be Tobias based, especially with Joel out. Like Tyrese, you got to let this kid go. He's just on fire. Let him get 20 shots a game. I don't care. It'll make the offense better. Let Tobias get his touches, but you can't when Joel comes back. I really hope we don't see Tyrese fade out of this offense. It better not happen.
Yeah, I don't think that would be the ultimate sin for Doc Rivers to let that happen. I think the way that Doc Rivers is talking about him, I think he even said yesterday in his post game, I just caught like a minute of it or whatever, but he said something like even I, just maybe I needed to have more confidence in him earlier in the season. I'm like, whoa, what? He said that about himself. So I think even he's like starting to believe, like, holy cow, this kid is running the whole show. And I need to understand that he's now the focal point, or at least the second focal point outside of Joel Embiid. And thank God we have a second focal point outside of Joel Embiid. We've been running our offense through a center for how long now? And it always comes back to bite you in the end. So Doc should definitely be focused on Tyrese Maxey and being more creative and running the offense through him.
Yeah, and it's crazy because Tyrese is on this insane stretch. I mean, he's one of the top 6 most efficient players in the league. This is without Joel Embiid. Imagine what he's going to do with a big body center who's going to set him, better picks and all this stuff. Like, I just notice his confidence. He just looks like he has the it factor. And I expect it to keep up. And I think if we get another piece, we can contend. But what do you think? What do you think Maxey's, I guess, potential or his, I guess, I don't know, his future or like in terms of what this kid can be like. And also, are you including him in any trades whatsoever?
No, no, I'm not including him in any trades because it's not just what he's doing right now, but his mindset and what he's improved on in just the first part of this season is like how much could he improve on everything in 5 years? You know what I mean? Like he's so quick off the dribble, and then he stops on a dime and shoots a mid range. It's absolutely unguardable, and that's right now at 21 years old. Imagine what he can improve on. Like I said, in 5 years, imagine if he's shooting 42% from three right now. It's ridiculous. Doesn't even make sense. In the beginning of the season, he was shooting 30 for the first like 10 games, and I was just like, maybe he's just a 30% shooter. He shot 30 in college, he's shooting 30 in the NBA again. And now it's like, when did this happen? He's shooting 42% from three.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I just there's no way you could put him in any trade package because he
Yeah.
could be an absolute superstar. It's always been the 3-point shot, and will he learn when to pull up a mid range or when to do his floater or whatever, and that could take somebody years to learn, and it seems like he's learning it in a couple months. So
Yeah.
no, absolutely not. He could
Yeah.
be an NBA superstar. Seriously, he could be
I
a
agree. And he can
yeah.
outlast a lot of the dudes on this team as well, even into the next part of this franchise and whatever they do. But to put
That's
that
true
into
too. Yeah,
context, like you just said, his numbers, I feel like we were all waiting for him to kind of come down to earth, like Seth Curry has kind of done, but he just hasn't, which is the weird part because, you know, he's in the echelon with these guys: Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Jimmy Butler, Nikola Jokic, like players averaging 18 points a game, 4 assists, 60% true shooting percentage. And in his last 9 games, he's averaged 22, 4, and 5, 54% from the field, 47% from deep, 90% from the line. Like, come on, man. This kid has superstar rent. And if he was on his own team, like I feel like for a couple games, Tobias was taking touches away from him. like this guy could really be averaging 28 a game in his second year, and that's unheard of.
Yeah, I remember when we were first talking about the Ben trades and people were talking about Colin Sexton. One of the first things I said or video that I put out was the per 36 minutes, and I compared their per 36 minutes, and it was like Colin Sexton was averaging 18 and Tyrese Maxey was averaging 16.9 per 36. I'm like, obviously, if he got as many shots as Colin Sexton, he's as good as Colin Sexton. What are we going to trade for Colin Sexton for? So yeah, I just think, if he was on a bad team, yeah, he would be averaging 25 or 30. But I think this is a lot better for his development going forward in his career because he's learning how to really play point guard. Whereas you could be on a bad team for a long time and never actually learn how to play point guard because you're just out there to score 25.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just I don't know, like like you said, you could just see it in him. And I've been kind of reverting to like I don't even want a point guard anymore because I think he is the guy. And in terms of like the league landscape right now, I don't even know who's going to be available. I feel like it's going to be a really down year in terms of that. I think if the Sixers get a wing player at this point that can hold himself on both sides of the ball, that can fit in, not really be like the guy, but can kind of be the Robin, similar to how Giannis has a Chris Middleton, right? If we can get that type of guy, two names that come to my mind, CJ McCollum, Jaylen Brown. I would love either of those guys right
Oh my
now. I
God,
think
yeah.
I think we're a championship contender at least a good threat. But I don't want a point guard anymore. I think Maxey has really taken over the reins. Like I don't expect it to dip. I think he's that guy. But what have you been thinking about like the whole trade? So do you even think a trade's going to happen by the deadline, or do you think
Ah,
it's going to take a year? Like what do you think?
Daryl, there's just no way you would do that to a franchise. Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Are you
Like, you're
mad at
not
Daryl
gonna,
Morey?
huh?
Or do you think he's doing the right thing, or are you mad at him?
I think wait until the trade deadline isn't too bad. I think Daryl Morey's getting bailed out by Tyrese Maxey looking this good. If the team was looking like trash, it'd be like, yo, what's up with this trade? You know what I mean? So we're looking like we have a player that's so good or could be so good that we don't care about Ben Simmons. You still have $35 million on your cap that for a guy sitting at home. It just I don't know if he's doing the right thing or not. But past the trade deadline, I can't even imagine it. I just can't because he said on the radio this could take 4 years, but there's no way he would do that. I just can't see that happening because
If
you
he
can't hold a franchise hostage, bro. Your goal is to win games. You know that money could be used to get better players to help you win. There's no way you're not
Dude,
getting 7 pick swaps for Ben Simmons.
something has to happen. I agree. If this were to go on past the trade deadline, then at that point, I am going to be furious with Daryl Morey. But I can't be mad at him for now. Like a lot of people keep talking about December 15th, like the day where guys that were signed in the offseason can be traded. Um, I just don't know who's going to be available. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I just don't see like a really wide playing field right now. Like I think the Kings honestly could be a team that jumps in here or a couple other struggling teams. Like, but I just don't know. But I at the same time, I'm like, yo, like we're right here. I think if this bench continues to like pick it up when Joel comes back, I think we can compete this year. I really do. I don't think we're too far off like everybody may seem to think.
Listen, somebody like Jaylen Brown, that would definitely be in a championship contending team. It just would. That you know, I don't know if one of those trades is possible. Really, just Ben's such an odd fit on certain teams. There has to be the right players around him. It has to be the right roster construction, or it's just not going to work.
Well,
Uh,
what do you think about Portland? I don't know if you heard about like their whole scandal going on with their ownership now. They
well, was there some kind of sexual thing, misconduct or something? Was
I
that
don't
what it
think it
was?
was that, but or it might have been. I know it was like workplace misconduct, but
Yeah.
like Damian Lillard, like forget Dame, right? I don't think he ever wants to leave. But what about CJ McCollum? Like that Blazers team, if they keep going through these obstacles, like they might have to blow it up if they don't play well. Now, of course, Dame and them got going against us the other night, but they're not a good team. Like
No.
CJ, I could see them definitely trying to move one of them.
Yeah, that'd be a nice addition too. It's just all there's Daryl Morey think it's good enough. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
like Dame could be like, hey, listen, guys, give me Ben Simmons, give me somebody that can run transition and play hard defense and whatever, so then you're blowing up the team kind of, but not fully. That's probably a good option for the Trailblazers to do. I don't know how he fits next to Yusuf Nurkic, but I don't know. Ben had a stretch 5 for 5 years and acted like that was a problem. So,
Right.
yeah, can he really play against alongside a traditional style center that doesn't shoot from the outside? I don't know.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
But CJ McCollum would be an amazing fit on this team.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so hard to get value for Ben Simmons now. It just keeps going down. How do you do it?
Well,
It doesn't make sense anymore.
before I read the super chat, I want to ask you a question because I made a point, right? Don't you think the best time, like I know this is a weird circumstance, but don't you think the best time for 2-5 to come back and build up his value and leave was during the 6 games that one, Joel Embiid was out because apparently he can't play with the guy, right? And number 2, when we had 7 players, teams, we're first off, we're on a road trip, by the way, so you're not going to really have to face the home fans. Number 2, everybody is out. So you're going to get a ton of playing time. And number 3, the guy that you say you can't play with isn't going to be on the floor. Don't you think that would have been, I don't know, maybe the best time to play for 5 games, go to the whole 40 times and then leave? But
Uh-huh.
this goes back to what we talked about for months, and they said we were crazy. I don't think he likes basketball because that is the most oriented business decision that you could have made right there. That would have been the smartest thing to do. Am I right or am I crazy?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't know I don't think he loves basketball. I never thought he did. Well, maybe the first year or whatever, but then I slowly realized, like, wait a minute, I don't think anybody that loves the game wants to be the best they could possibly be. But I think it might be more of just how stubborn he is. I think it might just be he said in the offseason, I'm not playing for Philly. And now he's losing so much money, and he will choose his own ego over money. We thought he loved money so much he was going to come back. He's like, nah, you know what? I will go broke forever to never go back on my word because I'm the most stubborn person alive. I told you I don't have to shoot. I'm never going to shoot. I told you I'm not playing for Philly. I'm not playing for Philly.
But every time he gets fined, he comes back. So I don't get it.
So this last time he got fined, he came back. Is that what you're saying?
The last fine he got, and then they started to, well, the first time that's when Rich Paul and I've been calling him Shams of Clutch Sports. He went to Shams and Shams put an entire article out during a Sixers game. And then the next time, they were just, I feel like everybody just starts talking about Windhorse. They're all like, yeah, well, we're at a stalemate and this and that. It's like every time there's a fine though, and we did fine him for not going on the road trip with us. They try to come out and say, oh, Rich Paul said, oh, well, we shouldn't be putting financials before mental health, even though that's very much redundant from what you're trying to do. Like, I just don't get it. Like, you say, like, what you said is absolutely correct, right? Like, this guy wants to choose where he wants to go. How are you going to do that? You just said it yourself. There is no value. How are you going to do that? I don't
Doesn't make any sense. He said, or allegedly said, that it's not his job to raise his trade value. Like, what? It's not the team. How can the team raise their trade value? Show these other teams your rookie highlights and be like, look, this is how good he is. Please give us players for him. Doesn't make any sense. But the mental health thing is just so disrespectful. And Rich Paul, even for them to even say it again, and then to act like, I saw a great tweet. It was Rich Paul said, finding Ben Simmons is affecting his mental health. I'm about to say that when the rent's due. Like everyday normal people. We don't get to, I'm not going to work because like, what? Come on, man. Yep. It's just ridiculous.
It just doesn't, I don't understand like the philosophy behind it, but shout out to Birds Nation with the super chat. It says, good to see you back, Eastwood. P.S. LeBron should be thrown out of the league. Did you see what happened with LeBron?
Yeah, that was interesting, man. That was interesting. At first, I thought it was an inadvertent elbow. And then I saw the closer replay, and it was really like a swat.
Yeah. And remember what he did to Embiid.
Yeah. Yeah, the Embiid one was This one at least looked like he was like trying to shrug him off and smacked him, and it looked like maybe his fingernail like cut him on the eye or something. One of those. You get cut right here, it gushes blood. It looks like a UFC fight. Like it wasn't that bad, and the dude was losing his mind.
He was breaking
Oh,
tackles.
he wanted to scrap. That was great. He didn't care at all. Even when it was all over, he ran on the court again.
Right. And they gave LeBron 1 game for a suspension, but
Yeah, I don't understand.
Lakers suck anyway, which is crazy.
But the push that he had on Embiid, that one was like something you absolutely don't do. And somebody that loves the game of basketball and loves being the older guy now that teaches all the young guys how to play and all this, like why would he do that? Push somebody in midair. I hated that. I was already kind of off the LeBron train after I went to
Right.
LA, but I was totally done with LeBron after that.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know what LA thinks they're gonna do at this point. Their team's just not fitting well. But shout out to Birds Nation. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got 220 up in here, man. Guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to DJ Eastwood, running back Philly. If you have not yet, he will be back soon. What is it? A couple days?
Yeah, it should be a couple days. One of the strikes already went away, so
Couple days and he'll be back. So definitely subscribe to him. We'll be we're covering the Sixers here. Hopefully we get our players back. And I want to talk about tomorrow, even though it's going to be a little bit tough. And then we come home, we play at 6:00 on Saturday, and hopefully everybody will be back. Joel's been out for 15 days now. I'm hoping that dude is okay. And before we get DJ's thoughts on that, also, guys, the phone lines are open. So call into the show. The number's down below. We'll take a few comments, thoughts. Let us know how you're feeling about the team, about this road trip, about us coming home, players, all that. Give us your thoughts. The number is down below 215-798-7638. But we'll start with tomorrow. So we're going up against the 15-2 Warriors. No Clay yet. Do we have a chance of winning that game? Do we have a chance of winning that game?
I can't believe they're 15-2. They just find. I was talking. Who was I talking to this? Who was I talking about to this? Maybe to you guys in the group text or something. But that championship team that they had, the one that won like 3 in a row or 3 out of 4, they had such a good bench. It was so deep. Their bench could go head to head with most starting teams in the NBA. The Sean Livingston, Barbosa bench with Andre Iguodala, and then it's like, okay, all those guys are gone now. Harrison Barnes, all those guys are gone now. The Warriors stink because they just have a guy out here scoring 45 points and they can't do anything else. Then all of a sudden it's like, look, Gary Payton had a son that plays in the NBA that nobody knew about that's dunking on people from the foul line. Jordan Poole is like Steph Curry 2.0. They find role players out of nowhere. And once again, they have a deep bench, a lot of scoring, great defense. One thing they've always had, Steve Kerr always had them playing great rotation, great perimeter defense. No, realistically, no. We don't have a shot. If we're playing with 9 players again?
Well, that's the thing. I believe Joel's going to be out. Tobias, don't know. I feel like they might as well just sit everybody at that point and wait till we get home. But yeah, I would figure we're probably going to play with 8 to 9 players again. Same squad, and we'll probably play hard. But I agree with you. I don't think we really have too much of a shot. I don't think the Warriors have anybody else out except Iguodala. You talked about Jordan Poole. He's averaging 18 a game, which is ridiculous. Wiggins averaging 19 a game.
I forgot
Curry.
about Wiggins.
Wiggins is actually playing really well. Curry averaging 28 a game. Like, it's just nuts, man. It really is. It really is. Let's get a caller in here. Let's go to the line and see what someone's thinking about this team. Call into the show, guys. Give us some thoughts. Yo, what's going on? You're on the show.
Hello.
Yo, what's up?
What's up? What's your opinions on what's going on with Tyrese Maxey?
What about it?
Like, where do you think? What do you think he's getting traded or no? I just got in. So.
We talked a lot about Maxey, but we both have him as untouchable. What about you?
Yeah, I would say so too. He's something else. He doesn't really turn the ball over too much.
Yeah, he's been playing well.
Yeah. All right. Well, get
Was,
talking, I guess. Peace.
All
was
right,
there like some rumors now that he's playing great that like we should include him in trade packages and things like that? Like, I know beat writers write articles every day. I haven't been reading anything, so I don't know if anything came out about that.
I mean, from what I've been seeing, everybody's pretty much saying like he's reached that level of untouchable, and now they think we need a wing player. Interesting enough, after we've been saying it, but I don't know, man. It's just I wouldn't really trade him. I think we need one more wing player or one more piece to put us over the top, and we need to get out of this terrible contract. Yo, what's going on? You're on the show.
Yo, what's going on, RB? What's going on, Eastwood?
Oh,
This
man.
is Raheem. I'll be in the chat every now and then.
What's
But
up, man?
I just wanted to get a quick opinion on what you guys would think about a player like Jeremy Grant, like a taller, like good scorer. You know what I mean? Like okay defense.
I'll let DJ go on that.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I remember that came out. It was like, oh, Detroit's like in the lead of the Ben Simmons sweepstakes, and it's centered around Jeremy Grant.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, I just no. It has to be somebody. I think Tobias is already that kind of player that's like a ball stopping guy that's not really a deep threat. He can, I don't know what he shoots from three. It's probably not close to 40%, right?
He's struggling this year.
He's just good on a bad team. I love Jeremy Grant, but I don't know. I don't think he's really the type of fit you would look for at the 3 position.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty much a power forward, right?
Yeah, and I would second that because I made a video about that, and there's just no way. Like, we need to stop buying ourselves into players that I'm proud of Jeremy Grant, but he's not the dude to put us over the top. I don't want, and he has a terrible contract as well. I don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah, shout out to him for getting paid. Detroit's just miserable. They just give guys $100 million because they can score 20.
Yeah,
Oh, I guess we did that with Tobias, but
I don't think Daryl would entertain that at all.
Speaking of Daryl, I honestly don't think he's gonna be getting rid of Ben Simmons anytime soon. So like, I feel like we need to just get whatever we can get now for anybody else. Like, I could see him trading Tobias before he trades Ben, to be honest.
But trading Tobias for Jeremy Grant, that's kind of, I mean, I really think they're kind of the same.
I just don't see what that does for the team, though. Like, what message does that send to Joel,
Yeah, I know. Sure. I understand.
I don't think Tobias is a great fit alongside Joel. I've been saying that for a long time, but I think you would need to trade even him as part of a package for somebody that's more of a floor stretcher.
I think Tobias is a good 4, in my opinion. I just think he needs to not be the second option on our team. Like, we did that last year, we did it this year. It's like, let Tyrese take the reins, let him CJ McCollum come in here and take the second option kind of, spot. But I don't know, man.
I appreciate the call.
Thank you, man.
Hey, man, thanks.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. I think like Tobias is what he is, literally. Like, unlike someone else that said that, like, Tobias isn't getting any better. We know what he is, though. He's a 20 to 22 point per game scorer. That's it. He's going to leave it out there, but he does have to come up bigger in the playoffs. I agree with that. But we'll see, man. Hopefully Tyrese continues to grow.
If we're saying he's a third option at best, I mean, with that amount of money, you can still get a third option and more players.
Yeah, I agree with that. But my rebuttal to that would be, if you trade Tobias right now and you don't know what's going to happen with 2-5, right? Where do you go as a franchise? Like, are we just conceding this year? I think we got to really take that into consideration.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to trade Tobias. I would like to see a package centered around both of them. Honestly, I would like to see $360 million of players, $360 million worth of players that are not a number 2 option.
Let me ask you this then: you trade 2-5, you trade Tobias. Are you getting a star back for them?
Yeah, that's the tough thing too, because you're right. Every people send me mock trades all the time, and I feel like my response is always, okay, why would that team sign
Exactly.
up for $180 million Tobias Harris.
Exactly. I
Like
just
he
don't
doesn't.
get it.
It's not like we need to trade Tobias. And does he really have value at that contract? No.
So
You
we've
kind of
pretty
have to.
much we've pretty much come to the conclusion we have two of the worst contracts. Like
Absolutely, yes. Yeah,
all
they're
we
bad.
had to do was keep Jimmy, man. That's all we had to do. But anyway, so this game tomorrow night, what do you think? First off, what do you think Seth Curry is going to do to or Steph Curry, sorry, not Seth. What do you think Steph Curry is going to do to the Sixers? And what do you think Tyrese Maxey is going to do to the Warriors?
I'm actually excited to watch Tyrese Maxey guard Steph Curry
What if he
because
holds him to like
think
20?
I think Tyrese Maxey is a really good defender. I really do. He's just quick. He makes the right reads. He's reactionary. He puts his body in the right position. He gets his hand on the ball. He's a way better defender than I ever thought he was going to be, and that's at his age. And I would love to see him hold Steph Curry to 20 points. That'd be amazing.
Do you think we could win the game if we do that? What about your boy, not your boy, but Rom's boy Furkan, you know? We need some of these dudes to step up, man.
Yeah,
Niang, Furkan,
yeah,
come
yeah,
on.
yeah. Furkan. That's the thing about these guys. Like they're just role players, and they shoot 2 for 13. We say they suck. They shoot 12 for 13. We're like, oh my god, George Niang. We're chanting MVP. They're always just gonna be role players, you know, that they just are. They're
Yeah.
always gonna come back down to earth. They're always gonna have that next game where they shoot 2 for 13.
Well,
Uh, Furkan shows so many flashes of, like, greatness and then just goes back to what he is, just a role player. Like, we don't have
it's
to
tough.
hate him for it, but we're gonna eventually accept that he's not, like, a starting level NBA player.
It's tough, man, because and the thing is, like, I don't know, we just keep running, like, we switch things up, but I don't feel like they're the right things that we switch up. Like, for example, right? Isaiah Joe, I think he had like 11 points last night. That was the most minutes he's gotten in how long? Like, Isaiah Joe was ripping to start the season. Like, he was absolutely knocking the shots down, doing what he need. I mean, he's a great defender. He doesn't see the floor for like 2 weeks. Then he comes back in and, he's not shooting well now because he's not in a rhythm. And then, he gets hurt because of that. Another example, Paul Reed. He doesn't even play anymore. You got Charles Bassey subbing in at the first substitution. Where did Paul Reed go? I thought he was playing well. I thought he was doing okay. I don't get it. I don't understand.
I was a big Charles Bassey fan even from the draft, so I think Doc is always going to favor a player like him who has just an old school traditional style, and I think he feels like he can probably rely on him to get points more than Paul Reed. Just doesn't really look like he has a go to post move or anything like that. He gets points and makes things happen just with his energy and put back dunks and things like that. So I think when Charles Bassey had that 12-point performance and he had just a couple of those little turnaround hook shots and like he looks very controlled and everything in the paint. I think Doc like loves him. So it was kind of shocking. Like, wow, Charles Bassey is all of a sudden the number 2 center off the bench. Here we go. The guy didn't even sign a contract for like 3 months just when he got drafted.
I don't get it,
But
man.
Isaiah Joe, I'm never going to be happy about that. I always thought the kid should have had way more time. Like, just put him out there and tell him to shoot the lights out. But Doc just, I don't know. You have to be 25 and older, or you have to play like you're 25 and older. I don't
Right.
know. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And I see someone in the chat says he missed 2 weeks because of COVID. Right. But how about the guy played the first game of the season for what, 2 minutes? And he never even got going under his, in his rhythm. Like in preseason, he looked great. Like this guy has to get minutes, especially we haven't even talked about this dude because he hasn't been here in how long. Daniel Green. Okay. This guy is like a snail. What has Danny Green done good in a game? How many games has he played? 11. 11 games. He's averaging 7.5 points a game. And what's he shooting from three? Let's see. He's shooting 41%. But still, Danny Green, like every time I watch Danny Green, he's turning the ball over, he's running weird. Like, come on, Danny.
I
I
wouldn't
thought
have guessed 41%. I wouldn't have
yeah,
guessed that.
he just hasn't seemed like even like I know last year it took him a while to get going, but this year in the 11 games, he'll probably catch fire at some point. But it's like he just
I,
looks older and older, man.
Yeah, he looks like he's ready to retire. I don't think he did much this offseason. I think he's kind of towards the end where he's just like hanging out all offseason, like, all right, I guess I'll play another year, see what happens. But yeah, he doesn't look any. He looks worse than he did last season for sure. He looks slower. It's even more of a like nightmare when he actually has to dribble the basketball. No, and he just if your shot's not open, pass the ball. Please, Danny Green, never, ever, ever, ever dribble a basketball. Don't do it. It's
That's what I
bad.
don't understand, man. Like this guy is coming around a pick and roll. Meanwhile, we got Tyrese sitting in the corner. I don't get it. I don't understand it. We paid $10 million for Danny Green this year. 10. This guy had 5 offers. He was in control. He had he pretty much had his own LeBron the decision, pretty much. And he decided to come back to us. We got that done. That was supposed to be like one of our main re-signings because we were limited and we had certain rights to Danny Green. You got to step it up, man. We need that veteran leadership.
Yeah, I don't know. I was over Danny Green when he told Philly fans they need to be nicer. Like I'm just no.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like he's connected. Doesn't feel like he's part of this. Feels like he's just a guy from LA that we were renting for a couple of seasons.
I don't know, man. It's just tough. Where do you think this team is at overall? And like, do you think we have a chance to compete this year?
I do, yeah. I think you have a chance to compete. Any team with Joel Embiid on the roster has a chance to compete. I really do. Well, like I say it all the time. He went 12-5 his rookie season in the month of January without Ben Simmons, with T.J. McConnell and probably Jeremy Grant and those dudes. He went 12-5. You're always going to be a winning team with Joel Embiid. He's so dominant offensively and defensively. And then you add in what Tyrese Maxey's doing. I think he could be. I think it might be foolish of us to say that and think that because it's probably not realistic with a kid that's 21 years old. But I don't even think him progressing as much as he has was realistic, and he's doing it. So who knows what he could play like by the time the playoffs come around. I really,
Yeah, it's a good
it's,
point. I'm at the same time, it's like we kind of need to capitalize here, Like how much more time can we wait? Joel, for some reason, finds his way off the court many times. Like we need him to be healthy come playoff time. And that's why I'm so mad about the missed opportunities that we've had the last 3 years. Like everybody keeps talking about, oh, well, 2-5 and Joel, they haven't matured yet. Well, guess what? They're not the normal players. They're not guys who, you got to wait till they're 31 years old. No, like we've had chances to compete. We've
yeah.
had chances.
Yeah, we could have had rings by now. It's all about roster construction. It was
Right.
all, you know, not firing Brett Brown right when they got actual NBA players healthy and on the floor was the first move. You're just wasting time, and it's
Right.
just it sucks because a player like Joel doesn't have a lot of years to play in the NBA. And when ownership makes a decision to give Brett Brown 3 more seasons, you're just wasting time. You should have known that. You
Yeah.
got to go get an experienced coaching staff in here right now. Nope, 3 more seasons of this guy that might be okay or might not.
Yeah.
That was the first mistake. And then the Elton Brand thing and Brett being the interim GM. And it's just, we wasted a whole bunch of time letting people make decisions that shouldn't have ever been making a decision.
Right. We just can't take steps backwards at this point. We either have to stay afloat or keep moving forward. And I see people in the chat, some are saying that we're better than last year, some are saying we're worse. Honestly, we were on fire to start the season, and then we kind of got our momentum broken. But do you think that we're going to kind of regain what we had going for us, or do you think, we're just going to be that team that stays afloat and middle of the pack team?
No, I think we can get back what we had in the beginning of the season. Seth Curry was absolutely cooking every night. It was like, oh, Seth Curry's actually the number 2. This dude's dropping 25 a game. And then, now he's been out and now Maxey's on the rise. It's looking like, when all these things come back together, yeah, I think we could be back to what we were in the beginning of the season. It's just, there's too many things that you can't guard. You got to double team Joel. Then it's like, oh, Seth's wide open all day. That dude's not missing a wide open 3. And now Tyrese is doing what he's doing. Yeah, I think we can get back to what we were in the beginning of the season.
Yeah. And we also have $30 million not playing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, man.
Dude, we got to make something happen.
Somebody else said biggest mistake was letting Jimmy walk, Devin G. Yeah, that's the thing. We didn't have smart enough ownership from the jump. And at the end of the day, if ownership isn't smart enough to hire people that know what they're doing, like you have to be stupid smart when you're a basketball owner. You have to be smart enough to know that you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to be like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have to hire experienced people. No, they thought they knew what they were doing, and they thought them and a bunch of inexperienced GMs and coaches were going to do the right thing, and it was terrible. And it's been every decision except for, I don't know, hiring Daryl Morey and drafting Tyrese Maxey has been terrible.
Yeah, we need to make something happen, man. I agree. Call into the show, guys, 215-798-7638. Give us your thoughts. We're going to keep on talking about this game tomorrow for what it may be. If the Sixers were to somehow get a win, that would be astronomical, but we'll see what happens. Can Tyrese put us on his back? Let's go to the next caller. Yo, what's going on?
Yo,
What's
going on? So you said you're looking for a wing, right? And what do you think about Pascal Siakam?
That's a big no for me. I think he's too much like Tobias.
I guess, but I don't know. I think I don't know. What other wings?
What do you think about Pascal Siakam on this team?
I mean, he kind of be weird, but I think him and Joel would have a nice connection.
I'm done with weird. I want nothing to do with weird anymore. Josh Richardson, Al Horford, all that stuff, man, that was weird. We tried it. We were like, like realistically it shouldn't work, but we're going to try it because maybe. And then we're like, oh, yeah, that doesn't work. Putting two centers on the floor and Josh Richardson.
Yeah, let's not put two centers. Let's put two power forwards now.
All right. What about what was I gonna say? Oh, you happy how Drummond's playing right now?
Who?
Drummond. Yeah.
Drummond.
Oh, I love the guy, honestly.
Yeah,
I think he's playing phenomenal.
I love Andre Drummond, man, and he's happy to resurge his career. I mean, nobody expects Andre Drummond to be a scorer. Just go out there and get your 25 rebounds.
Hang up.
He's been going off, man. And my man just hung up. All right, that's great. Well, thank you for the call. No to Pascal Siakam. The Raptors are not trading Pascal Siakam. Why? Because the Raptors, as I predicted, are still going to be a threat to be reckoned with, because they are just a team that they're just scrappy. Like, they're always going to be in the mix. Last year was weird because they were in the south side of Florida and they just didn't care. And they got rid of Kyle Lowry. But, like, the Raptors are going to be just fine in a year or two. Yo, what's going on? You're live on the show. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yo, what's up?
You can hear me, God?
Yep, you're good.
Since we talking about like trade pieces, who is not gonna be playing? Because Doc runs a 10-man rotation. So who is not gonna be playing if we make a trade?
I have no clue, honestly.
You mean like if you trade for like who specifically? Like Jaylen Brown?
Say, do you guys like George Niang? Do you think we could improve it at that position? I kind of think if we was to get like maybe Marvin Bagley to play backup 4, that might be better.
Yeah, I think Niang's fun. His energy's fun, and he has games where he looks like way better than he actually is, and we all celebrate it. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, he's not a stud. He's been a journeyman for a reason. So when you say when you make a trade, who's not going to play? Yeah, when you say if we make a trade, who's not going to play? I don't care who's not going to play. You get somebody that's better than those players don't play.
Do you still want Dame?
Like what do you have to give up to get him?
No, I'm saying if we was to get Dame, Maxey wouldn't start or he wouldn't play as much as he does now. So I want to know your opinion. Like, do you still want him?
I like that point because I haven't been thinking about it because I don't think it's possible. But you're saying if you could still get Dame, would you do it? And it's tough to think about now.
Well, I wouldn't, but let me just like throw a hypothetical. What if we threw Maxey at the 2?
Too
I don't know.
small. You don't think he's too small?
I mean, he played off the ball in college.
No, but
just
like
learning
Seth
how to
Curry's
play.
a little bit too
though.
small, but at least Maxey can hold his own on defense. It's just a
I mean, it's better than
hypothetical, though.
Curry.
It's just a hypothetical, though.
I think he
Yeah, I
could play.
like Danny Green. I think Danny Green's a smart vet. He plays good defense. And when Joel Embiid comes back, we do need a knockdown shooter. So he's fine. Tobias is fine. Shake has been down lately, but he'll be all right. Court Miles, when you ask him to do too much, nah. But
So,
when Embiid comes back, he'll be fine.
so what move do you think this team needs to make? Let me ask you that.
It's hard. It's
It is,
hard.
yeah.
It's so hard. Like everybody's solid, but we want to get like over the hump. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I kind of want Bagley though, just as a rebounder off the bench. Maybe Harrison Barnes
Yeah.
for Ben. Both of them for Ben Simmons. And if you want to throw, if they want to throw Danny Green in it, you could do that. But I want to keep Danny though.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it makes sense. I think the Kings will be a team that we definitely look for in terms of a trade, but I'll keep it in the back of my mind, man. Marvin Bagley. I like it.
Yeah. I
Appreciate
don't
the
want
call, my
Fox
guy.
though.
Yeah. Nah. We got Maxey now. We got Maxey. He's our guy.
Maxey's tough. Maxey's tough.
Let's go, man.
What's good? What's good, DJ? Just tweaking. I know you remember.
What's up, man? You said what?
What's up? I said this is just tweaking. I know you remember me.
Did you say just tweaking?
Yeah.
I mean, it's I'm not trying to. It's a lot of people. But what's up, bro? Thanks for shouting me out, man. I'll be back on the tube pretty soon.
All right. Have a good night.
Thank you, man. Just tweaking. There we go. By the way, the Lakers just lost to the Knicks. Gotta love it. They lost again. But anyway, the Warriors. I just saw Otto Porter's averaging 17 minutes a game off the bench. Otto Porter was about to never play again. He was a guy I liked like 2 years ago. He was about to never play again. Now he's playing every game. Come on, man.
Yeah, I think it's when you have a guy that gets triple teamed at half court, it makes everybody else better. It's Steph Curry's impact is so crazy. So, Otto Porter Jr., when he was with the Wizards, probably didn't get as many wide open shots as he's getting right now because it's just so hard to stop Steph Curry.
We'll probably double him tomorrow, right?
The way Doc plays, it'll be 1-on-1 for at least the first quarter. And if he drops 25 in the first quarter, then maybe it'll be Matisse Thybulle 1-on-1, see what he can do. At least it won't be Danny Green 1-on-1.
Right. What about Seth Curry, though? You think he's going to take it a little personal? I feel like he does that sometimes against his brother.
Yeah, I think he always does. Yeah. I think he's gonna come out. He's gonna get his shots up. He's gonna try to, it's such a fun dynamic. Like he knows he's not as good as Steph Curry. He's not stupid. But he probably always wants to, I'm finally going to have this game where I outscore him, man. And then I can talk trash at Thanksgiving dinner and yeah.
Yeah. I love it, man. Another dude I wanted to ask you about was Matisse Thybulle. What do you think about his progression? Obviously he just came back a couple games ago, but what do you have? 15 last night, 6 for 8 from the field, 3. I think he's played 6 games out of 11 where he's had 3 steals this year. That's absolutely unheard of. This guy is insane.
I think he's getting better. Now, of course, the Kings don't play any defense. So that first quarter, I feel like he had 3 dunks cutting to the rim where just nobody followed him. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, and the announcers were even saying Matisse is developing as a cutter and an off-ball player, and I couldn't decide whether it was that or the Kings just aren't guarding people because he just cut to the rim wide open. But yeah, I mean, the one he missed a 3, got his own rebound and shot another 3 right away and hit it. And I was like, that's pretty, good for his confidence. Like if he's just catching it and being like, I'll shoot it again. Why not? Like that's great. If
His
he feels
form
like
not too bad.
yeah. So, if that keeps developing and then he is getting better at reading the floor and knowing when to cut to the basket, as long
Yeah.
as you never have to rely on him like making an actual move with the ball,
Right.
I
Yeah,
think he can be a great player.
I agree. I didn't like what Doc said last night though about him. He said, yeah, it's tough with him being a guard, but like he's starting to buy into what I want him to do in terms of being a picker and a roller. Like, no, Doc, get this guy shooting threes. That's what we need. He could be really good. So
Why should Matisse be a picker and a roller?
I don't know why he said that, but I mean his form looks better to me. So, I want him to keep on shooting it. And
I think he does have athleticism that maybe Doc wants to utilize.
Yeah.
He could, like I say, there's a lot of, if Matisse Thybulle knew how to play basketball, he could take 2 dribbles and dunk on everybody. But he
Yeah.
just never really gets that like path to the basket because he just doesn't have the like take the ball, jab step, 1 dribble, like control with the ball. And I don't know. But when he does get a path to the basket, he almost hits his head on the rim. I'm like, God, this guy, he can jump. But,
Yeah.
it has to be on a cut or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think the Warriors I think Clay's practicing now. Do you think once he comes back, do you think the Warriors are the favorite this season?
Yeah, they have to be. They
Think so?
absolutely have to be. 18-2, and they're adding the best, maybe not the best, but probably the second best 3-point shooter that's just ridiculous. I can't even think of a more unfair combination of players.
Yeah.
What a draft haul.
Yeah. And I think they're still waiting for what's his name? Wiseman to come back as well. So and the 2 guys they drafted aren't even playing too much right now, Kuminga and Moses Moody. So I don't know, man.
They're gonna be really hard to stop.
That team's scary. They
The
are.
thing about it was the last time that they were that overpowered, when everybody was healthy, you at least had the overpowered Cavs that were always going to, battle them with Kyrie Irving and LeBron James, Kevin Love, and everybody. Now it's like the Warriors are. So we thought the super team was over, and everybody has 2 stars now. Now it's like, oh, there's still a super team. There's just 1 now.
Yeah. Well, who knows about that team down in Brooklyn because sheesh, man. I mean, I think they're leading the East now, but like too much drama. Like, I don't know. I don't know. They're talking about us sending 2-5 to Brooklyn. That's definitely not happening because there's no way he plays in front of Brooklyn fans. And yeah, I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I think Kevin Durant's good enough to get you wins, and hide the other deficiencies of the team for a while. But again, like James Harden's scoring like 15 a game. I feel like.
Yeah.
No, there's no way they're good enough to compete with the Warriors. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it'll be, Kevin Durant dropping 40 and they lose.
Yeah. It's a new day, man. Like there's new teams up and coming.
These new rules took James Harden. These new rules took James Harden out of his superstardom.
Yeah.
It's crazy, really. Because how good ever was he now that we think about it? Or did he just get 25 free throws a game?
It's a good point. It definitely is a good point, especially I think the Hawks are kind of struggling as well with Trae Young. So, it's definitely I think it's just a new there's a lot of new procedures this year, and I think guys aren't really used to it yet. And that's why I hope when Joel comes back, he was talking about even the new basketballs, like it just feels different. So we need Joel to get going, when he comes back. But I think there's going to be like a period where he's got to really get his conditioning right. And that's what I'm worried about. So,
yeah, I also think he struggles with the same thing those guys struggled with. He called himself the 7-foot James Harden before. He prided himself on the fact that he could foul centers out because of doing little sweep through moves and stuff the whole game. And it's like, he's not getting any of those calls. And a lot of them are fouls, but they're just not giving them to him if it looks like he's trying to bait or if it looks like he's screaming and flopping and stuff. So it's a transition period for everybody. Everybody has to. I think the NBA watched the Olympics this past season and they were like, wait a minute, that's way better. Right. That's way better than what we're doing.
Yeah.
let's do that. Let's make people actually have to score to get rewarded.
Yep.
Everybody has to deal with it. I think Embiid deals with it too.
Yeah. Definitely going to be interesting to see like how the season progresses. Who knows if another team, may even go down with something, like who knows, but the Sixers got the worst of it early on in the season. Let's go back to the lines though. Call into the show, guys. Number down below. Yo, what's going on?
What's going on? What's going on?
Yo, what's up?
This is Mike. I'm just so surprised. Like, it's a good surprise that Tyrese Maxey is doing what he's doing. It just shows you how good you can be if you put in the work. And Ben Simmons, it just sucks because the potential he had, he still has the potential. It's just like, dang, you're 6'10". They were trying to compare him to LeBron James, and he just couldn't come through. He didn't put in the work. It just kind of sucks, disappointing. But I'm just happy we have Tyrese Maxey, and it just sucks that we're in this predicament where we have. I like Tobias Harris, but 180 mil, just not the guy. And he's supposed to be the third option. How can you pay a player 180 mil and he's your third option? I just don't understand that. And then, like, just thank God we have Tyrese Maxey. Maybe he can be our second option. And then we just got to try to find a third option. Or maybe have Tyrese Maxey the third option and trade Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons for a second option, for a true second option like Jaylen Brown, Bradley Beal, something. But just want to get your opinion on that.
Yeah, the Tobias Harris thing, it's so hard. I don't just think it's not like we chose to have. I think did they think he's better than he is, or did they just say, well, Jimmy Butler left, we can't let Tobias leave, we have to pay him. And so it's not like you chose to overpay a fourth option, I guess, but that's what it is, third option, whatever. And now you're stuck with it because you can't trade it. You just can't. Nobody's taking that contract. He's not good enough, and there's no it's not like he's gonna get better. He's 31, maybe, right? I think Tobias
late 20s there probably.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think if you could trade Tobias or even trade a combination of him and 2-5 and then get a star back, I think it'd be a different conversation.
Right.
But I just don't think you can.
Right.
Like you said, we know he's overpaid, so it's like we kind of just have to rock.
Everybody else knows the same thing. Everybody else knows the same thing. So it's like it's just a sucky situation. I'm happy Daryl Morey is being patient, but at the same time, he has to pull the trigger because we don't want to waste a career. We don't want to waste Joel Embiid's career and wait until next season, and we still didn't. His value is just going to keep dropping. If we wait until next season and they don't trade him, his value is just going to keep dropping, and we're wasting more time because that's another $180 million contract. We can have a player to help us win now, or players to help us win now. So we just don't want to waste Joel Embiid's career by just being stubborn and not trying to make a move. But I understand why he's doing it because he's our only piece that we can get rid of to try to get some players.
Yeah.
But it's just a sucky situation. But I'm happy Tyrese Maxey is doing what he's doing. But it's just I don't know what we're going to do. But we got to do something because I don't want this whole season to be wasted. And we just talk about Ben Simmons and what we could have been.
Yep.
I think
Tyrese
Maxey's play might get to Daryl Morey a little. It's great that Tyrese Maxey's playing like this, and it's also great that he's playing like this during this situation because Daryl Morey might be pressured more now to be like, oh wow, look at Tyrese Maxey. At least there's something I could add some players to, and now think that it might be a championship level team. Whereas before it was like Joel Embiid and if I'm not adding Damian Lillard, I'm not doing it.
Right.
You know what needs to happen?
So
actually?
Maybe we're not as right.
I was just going to say
we're not as far as we think.
No,
I'm sorry.
No, I agree with you. We're not. And I was just going to say, you know what I think needs to happen? I think at the trade deadline, right before, we need to go on a hot stretch. I think Curry needs to heat up, Tyrese, Tobias, and I think Daryl needs to really put it into perspective. We get one more piece right here, we can go on a run,
Right. And I don't think the East, the East is tougher than it was. It's a little bit better than last year because I think Miami Heat's going to be really good. I don't think the Bucks is as good as they was. I think if it wasn't for injuries, I don't even think they would have won it. But injuries are part of the game. And then I think the Brooklyn Nets, I don't think they're that good either. Like I don't think James Harden. I don't know if he's in shape. I don't know what's going on with him. Kevin Durant. It's just the ball just stops with him and it doesn't move around. It's just they don't play good defense. So I really think we have the potential. We can get that right piece. I feel like we can get through the Eastern Conference and maybe even win the chip this year, but we just have to figure out Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris. Definitely Ben Simmons, but it's like we have to do something. We can't waste this whole year.
Yeah, I agree 100%, man. Hey, appreciate the call, my guy.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you, man.
I will be sick if the trade deadline goes past and this guy's still on the roster. I will be sick.
Do we even stream it this time? Because last year and during the draft, we were kind of disappointed. Do we even stream it again?
Oh my.
Because I honestly might lose my mind this time if we actually don't trade him. And
we have to stream it. People will be so interested in watching that. Like, watch what happens when they don't trade Ben Simmons.
If it comes down to the last day of the trade deadline, and we're hearing this and that, and we don't move them, we're just conceding the season. You can't do that if you're Daryl Morey.
No. And back to the first thing that he said, you can't trade Tobias and Ben together. You just can't. I would love to see that happen, but it can't happen. Who's going to say, okay, you're going to give me $360 million worth of contracts, and neither of these players are going to really put me over the top of anything.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And Michael in the chat says, let's not forget we said the same thing last year, but we lost to the Hawks. Granted, Ben had a huge amount to do with that, but it's still not going to be easy. Right. I mean, but even right now, we're not even utilizing $30 million of our roster. That could be 2 role players. It could be a star, if we had Tyrese Maxey playing that whole series, we probably win that series. We probably go to the finals. Honestly, I don't think we're as far off as everybody thinks. And our bench got better. I just need to see them be consistent when Joel comes back.
Yeah. When Joel Embiid's healthy, you just put 4 shooters on the floor. It's a very simple game. It really is. It's a very simple game.
Dude, I'm getting tired. People are just sleeping on us now. Now they just forgot about us because
we've seen him play at an MVP level with not 4 shooters on the floor.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's really, really hard to stop when he's healthy and there's 4 shooters on the floor. Really hard to stop.
I want it so bad for Joel. I want him to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I want him to get to the finals. I want him to hold up a trophy. Like the caller said, we can't waste this time.
Sean Ford said, if Morey trades Ben for a package of players, Philly is done. The league runs on stars and star power. What star are you getting for Ben Simmons? How? Who? Why? Why? Is a better question. Why?
Yeah.
Why would I give you a star for Ben Simmons?
That's the tough situation we're in, though, because it's okay, we don't want to settle for a role player. I agree. But then it's are we really going to be put over the top this season? What do we do after that? Are we just going to wait another year and hope somebody becomes ready to go? That's why I feel like we're trying so hard to get him back on the court. But the reality is that he's not coming back. He's just not going to play. This is the league needs to step in. I don't know how they haven't stepped in yet.
Is he still getting fined $300,000 per game?
From what I've heard, he's been fined for the 6 games that he missed. And according to Rich Paul, that was I think he said it was detrimental to his mental health, or they're just trying to fit a narrative and get him on the floor. And then Shams of Clutch Sports,
It is what we're doing. Yeah, and then he compared it to John Wall, and he was like, the Rockets are fine with him not playing. So the Sixers should be fine with him not playing. Any team should be fine with a player not playing who's just signed a contract and got $180 million. Any team should be fine with that guy not playing. That makes no sense at all. The Houston Rockets came to an agreement because they want nothing to do with John Wall. and they want to move forward, and they know he's untradeable because his contract's ridiculous. This is a different situation.
And two things. Number one, John Wall met with the team. The team is the one that decided. They said, we are going to let you travel, but you're sitting on the bench. And they communicated that. And number two, the Rockets are the worst team in the league. They're rebuilding. We're trying to win a championship, man.
Exactly.
Oh,
If Ben was 32 with a history of knee injuries and had this contract, and the team was 2-90, yes, they would probably not want Ben Simmons to come out and play. This is not the same situation. Listen, you know how much heat I got for that Rich Paul video? That video had like 25,000 views. It blew up, and there were so many people that acted like they were this guy's brother growing up, and I was such a horrible person for calling him a fraud. The guy is a fraud. He's a fake agent. He's fake. He was selling jerseys in an airport and met LeBron James. That's it. He's a fraud, and it's coming out slowly that he has no idea what he's doing. He just keeps saying stupid thing after stupid thing.
I just can't believe that league has not stepped in with this. I don't know. They just haven't said a word. Like, this is so bad for their brand. It's so bad. You're literally letting the example go here that any guy can just request out when they want to.
It is weird, but listen. Ben Simmons pulled the ultimate card because we are in a society now where you're not allowed to say anything back to somebody who uses that phrase. And it's ridiculous because no, you should have a therapist talk to him, and then the doctor should tell you if he has mental health issues or not Ben Simmons. He shouldn't be able to decide anything.
He's been quiet ever since. We haven't really heard much since, except that he got fined again. So what is the actual timetable? We don't know anything. There is no timetable.
Either way, even if somebody does have a mental illness or mental problem or not mentally ready to go to work, a company's not going to pay them.
Right.
Hey, I can't come to work anymore. I'm not mentally ready. Will you please keep paying me?
No,
my job's going to be like, hey, buddy, sorry. I hope you get taken care of, but I got a business to run. And if you starve on the street, it's not my problem. I'm running a business. That's just the way it is. If every business in the world just gave money to everybody that couldn't do the job, it's ridiculous.
It's absolutely ludicrous. I agree. What I'm saying, in addition to that, is like, I don't even care about him anymore. I just don't think it's fair that the Sixers have to go through this, and the league is letting it happen. Like, are they going to at least award us with some compensation? Are they going to like make this guy play? Like, what is going to happen here? Because this is not fair to us. We're trying to compete. We are not like some Oklahoma City Thunder team. We are here trying to compete. I just think like this is a number 1 overall pick that we're talking about. This should not be allowed. But everything that happens with the Sixers, it's a common theme. The Sixers are the ones that get burned for it, and then somebody else does it, and then it's, everything goes the opposite way. So
there's a big conspiracy that, everybody hates Philly. Everybody hates Philly, man. They don't want Philly to win. Philly's a bunch of terrible fans who like burn things and flip cop cars and, throw snowballs at Santa, and nobody wants Philly to win. So maybe they do. Maybe they do everything they can to keep us down.
You just brought a point up that I've been thinking about too. If we're so bad, right? All these stands, I don't see any 2-5 stands anymore. I guess they kind of like disappeared in the thin air, right? But
wait till a 4-game losing streak. They'll come running back.
If we're so bad as fans, right? How come I haven't heard one negative thing about Philly fans when it comes to Tyrese Maxey? Oh, I know why. Because we've been supporting the guy like he's an MVP. We're terrible fans, right? We're going to get on guys. Tyrese Maxey's had some bad games. Are we going to get on the guy? No, because he at least shows us he wants to get better, and he's working. That's it. Yeah. That is literally it.
Yeah, they say we run stars out of town. That makes no sense. The idea that we see a star player and we say, you know what? I hate this guy now. I would like for him to not play for my team. That's ridiculous. There's no way anybody thinks like that. We run stars out of
Everybody's
town.
fault. Everybody else's fault except you know who. But
Nobody's ever left Philly and said it was because I hated the fans. Nobody hates the fans. Every player that ever played here absolutely loves the fans so much that they would rather come back here than go anywhere else. JJ Redick said it.
I know we've said this a lot, but like, I just have never seen something like this. It blows my mind how you can be the main factor. And I don't care what any of you say, okay? You can talk about Doc Rivers blowing leads. We lost the series because a max contract player wouldn't show up, okay? That's why we lost the series. If he gave us 10 points in that game, guess what? We win. We win. And he has like, he's like, okay, like I don't even need to go down the whole journey, but like I would understand, like, you know, if he was like a 30 point per game player and we were just like, you know, we don't like you or whatever. Like, come on now. Come on. Are we serious here? This is
Just
crazy.
play better. One thing Philly hates is quitting, not trying your hardest. That's one thing Philly hates because it's the realest sports town in the country. The whole arena sees it happening. They see that player quitting. They see that player not taking that shot and being reluctant, and they start feeling like that's not what you do. That's not what you do around here. We love TJ McConnell. The guy stinks. We love him because he throws body on the floor. He came out there every single day. We don't run stars out of town. Ben Simmons is a quitter.
He's the reason that we lost that series. I don't care what anybody says. The main reason. But
I think if Tyrese Maxey got some playing time in Game 7, it would have been, you know, he saved Game 6. Shake Milton saved Game 5, which is just sad that either of those players had to do that.
what's sad is that you had a max contract player who wouldn't even take a shot attempt. I'm telling you, I don't think he wants to play anymore for any team. Like, I don't think he wants to go back out there and like prove to people that like he'll actually take a shot in the fourth quarter of the game. I don't think he wants that.
No, he never will. He wants to pass the ball.
And you know, I don't know if you saw the videos, but like he's been working out at St. Joe's. Like, are you trying to make a statement, bro? Are you like, I don't know. I just don't get it. Come on.
Weird.
Man.
He's a weird dude. He loves celebrity lifestyle, but this is a lot of money he's losing. Yeah. And you're messing up your future. You want to be a whip collector. You can't be a whip collector without a max contract. You can't buy Ferraris and Porsches and Lamborghinis if you're not making $180 million. And he's never going to get another max contract, ever. So you're squandering the only max contract you have, even if you don't love basketball. This is what blows my mind. I don't think he loves basketball, but he should love that money enough. I would go out there and dodge bullets on the court, you know, for $180 million. He's squandering all of that money, and he's not going to get that money again. It's crazy.
Daryl Morey is like, I feel like he's trying to find the one terrible GM that will make a trade for him. Like everybody else on the market's selling him at $30. He's trying to get $100. Like he's just waiting for that one GM to be like, damn, I need a player right now. And Morey's just like, there is no other explanation. Like with how many times 2-5 has come back and then left the team and got fined. Daryl has to, he knows. He's not a stupid guy. He knows that he's not going to play.
Yeah, he has to know these. I don't know. He might be sitting there like the money just hasn't gotten high enough yet. It's going to get there. He's not, you got to understand, when you have all of those things and there's suddenly $0 coming to your mailbox, zero, it's going to catch up to you soon, right? Where's he at? Eventually, you got to be like, I don't have any money to pay for anything that I have. I don't know. I think it has to catch up.
He's probably gonna go to another team and then collect all of the money that he's owed. That's why I don't think I don't know if he gets bought out. Like, I feel like Rich Paul would try to configure it a way that he still gets his full salary. Like, that is all he cares about.
Well, that's what he thought at first, but then it came out that he can't get the fine money back. He thought he could. or that he could just not pay those fines. And
Listen
then
to what we're talking about right now. This is dude, this is sad.
I think he thought, or Rich Paul thought, or they thought that he would get fined. He just wouldn't pay any of them. They would trade him. The new team waives all the fines and he doesn't have to pay them. But I don't know. They're saying that he can't get the money back. So the team is fining him and not paying him, right? And he can't get the money back. That's what they're saying. That's what they said before. So I don't know.
Daryl's holding it down for all GMs around the league. He's like, nah, we're not going to settle for this anymore.
He really is. Charles Barkley said it right when it happened. He said, I hope the Sixers stand up because I'm tired of teams getting bullied by these players. But again, like right when it happened, I was like, dude, you're not good enough to do this. It doesn't make sense.
That's
I don't want to play there. I want to be traded. You're not good enough to say that.
Yeah.
You have to be really good. Other teams have to want you really badly.
They think we're the Pelicans. That's the problem. They think we're the Anthony Davis Pelicans. No, we're actually trying to win. We're not a terrible team. So
right. And the Lakers knew that adding Anthony Davis with LeBron that year was going to guarantee them a championship. Adding Ben Simmons to your team does not guarantee you anything.
Yeah. Such a tough situation, man, but guess we'll have to wait another 5 weeks or whatever it is.
Eric R said the Clutch Sports is tanking his trade value, so when they're ready, we'll have to take the Westbrook deal. I'll quit. I swear. If for some reason it's not going to happen, there's no way. But for some reason Westbrook would end up on this Sixers team, I would quit watching until he retires. I can't watch Russell Westbrook.
Oh man, that's a bad image right there. I don't want him on this team. What teams do you think are even going to inquire? Like, I think Sacramento is the right fit.
Sacramento is the right fit.
When
people are saying Boston, that I don't know.
He's not going to play him. Like, that's the thing though. Like, Boston fans are not going to like this dude.
No, exactly. We hate Boston fans, but it's because they're kind of the same as we are. They live and die with their sports team. Right. Everyone else sucks. They hate everyone else. We're the same exact way. So they're going to treat him the same way Philly fans treat him. Yeah, he's going to come out there and not shoot. They hate Ben Simmons. They absolutely hate him.
Right. And you want to put him next to Josh Richardson and Al Horford again? Come on, man. And trade Jaylen Brown. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, that would be really bad. But again, like, what's his name? Who's the GM now? Who used to be the coach? Like, he hasn't made a good move since he's been in.
Brad Stevens, yeah.
Brad Stevens.
Dude, it's Sacramento written all over it. Like, no fans of the games. I watched like the Kings game. There were no fans that even had Kings jerseys on. Like, they're just regular Samaritans that just like want to go to an event. Like, no Kings fans. The stadium's half empty. They got 5 young guards who are really good. And
it was us during the tanking years. That's exactly what was happening. There was tickets in the top of the stadium that cost $3.
Right.
When we were tanking. So and, there wasn't real hardcore fans at the games.
Yeah.
Because hardcore fans aren't going to pay to go to the game at that point. They're like, I like Nerlens Noel when he was young and Ish Smith throwing him alley-oops and stuff, but I'm not spending money to go watch that. So There's no real fans at the game.
Right. And when you look at the Kings, like, the thing about the Sixers is that we saved up for these picks, right? The Kings have gotten like top pick after top pick after top pick. They just can't capitalize, and they're not going to sign anybody in free agency. So it's like, go make a trade happen. And you're not going to acquire like some top tier star for Sacramento. It's just not going to happen. So
yeah, at the end of the day, it's a business decision to make that move, because you're not making any money as an owner right now. You're not making any money on the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah.
But does trading for Ben Simmons turn that around? That's the thing.
I just think they have to do something, or they're going to have to relocate the franchise.
I think everybody's like, the jig is up, Yeah. It's not like somebody that has potential. It's like, this is what he is. He said it out loud. If it was like, hey, look, we traded for Zion Williamson, who, seems like he can't stay healthy, but he could be an absolute superstar if he loses 40 pounds.
Right.
I think everybody's like, Ben Simmons, that's who you got for us?
Yeah. I mean, but the Kings don't make any sense as it is. Buddy Hield's coming off the bench. Marvin Bagley, the caller talked about Marvin Bagley. You know, he doesn't even play. Like, he was
Yeah,
a
he was
former second overall pick. They're not even playing him. He played last night to get some, like, couple minutes. That's it. Like, he doesn't
ahead
play.
of LaMelo Ball, right?
Uh,
Or
no,
Luka Doncic.
yeah, I think it was that year. I forget which one it might have been that year. Yeah.
I think he was
Because
ahead of Luka Doncic.
right,
Wow.
right. Can't play him. Buddy Hield comes off the bench. Like, come on, man. Davion Mitchell's not even playing that much because they got too many guards.
Yeah.
Crazy. But
I expected more out of De'Aaron Fox last night. I thought, he was looking like the step back three that hit in the first half. I was like, whoa, De'Aaron Fox has some real game now. And then it just, I don't know, didn't do anything the rest of the game, I guess.
I think Maxey's a better defender than De'Aaron Fox. I haven't seen anything impressive from De'Aaron on the defensive side.
Yeah. And he's athletic. He should be a decent defender.
Right.
Also, the Kings shot 14 free throws in the first quarter, and we shot 4. I was tweeting that as I was watching it. I'm like, they're fixing this game, man. They were getting so many touch fouls. If Maxey was on the bench in the first 5 minutes with 2 fouls, Andre Drummond, they even had that advantage and still couldn't beat 9 players or 8 players.
They're a bad team. They really are. They paid, how much did they pay? If y'all let us know in the chat, what was Rashawn Holmes' contract? They gave him a bag.
Yeah.
Like, I forget how much it was. It was like, my guess would be like 60, 70 million, maybe more. Like, for Rashawn Holmes.
Just making bad decision after bad decision. You have to be able to value.
You got Marvin Bagley.
Sam Hinkie knew whether a player was good or not. He knew that. Well, I don't think most GMs or owners can actually have enough knowledge about the game to know that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the Kings are just paying whoever they think is, I guess, selling tickets. And they're like, Rashawn Holmes, yeah, he had like a big alley-oop dunk last night. Give him $100 million. Like, he's what?
4 years, $46 million. Like, okay. Congrats. Like, made it out of the process. But come on, man. He's got a little push shot from the free throw line. One-handed push shot.
Yeah, he's super athletic and his energy's fun, but he's not a guy that you can give the ball to and say, go score.
Right. He's their starting center, and you got Marvin Bagley not playing. Unbelievable, man.
Yeah, Hinkie traded MCW when his stock was high. Yeah, because he watched a couple of actual. Hinkie knew basketball. He's written books about basketball. Sam Hinkie knew basketball, and he said right off the bat, this dude can't shoot, and he doesn't see the floor. And then he was like, wow, rookie of the year. This value's never going to be this high again for MCW. And he traded him.
Sam Hinkie's a Daryl Morey disciple.
Yeah.
So, like, come on, Daryl. And that's the thing. Daryl's ego is like, I want a star back. I don't want to feel as a GM like I just gave away a guy who was a 3-time All-Star and I got, Buddy Hield and a second-round pick. That's his mindset.
Right, but I think Hinkie was making those trades because he knew he was getting more in return than the player was worth.
Hinkie didn't care about his ego. He was like, screw it.
Right, but he knew he was getting more in return than that player was worth. But
exactly,
what do you think Hinkie would be doing if Ben wanted this trade right now? Because you're not getting more in return than he's worth. You're getting less.
Dude, he would have been traded during first off, Brett would have been gone.
Yeah.
Brett would have been gone. He would have been traded before that Raptor series even happened.
Yeah.
He would have been like, you're not shooting the basketball. Let me see your way out. Like, it's just not happening.
Yeah, because he knew MCW is a good way to look at it. He knew that player's value is about to drop like crazy because he's just not good enough. He's not doing what he needs to do to develop. He would have traded Ben at the highest. Yeah, I agree with that.
And he got exiled. Meanwhile, Sam Presti is in OKC, and they have 37 first-round picks the next 7 years. Like, okay. That's okay, though. It's not Philly, so.
If Ben gets lucky, the OKC are in one of those situations where they have to hit the cap floor, and they trade for him and buy him out, and he goes home and never has to play basketball again and gets his money.
Dude, I actually stumbled across a Kings podcast last night, and we'll end on this, but I was listening to them talk, and someone was like, we need Ben. And even the girl, and I respect her for this, because, like, first off, how do you do a Kings podcast every game? Like, shout out to her.
Hey,
But
man.
second off, she was like, I had to be honest, like, even if he comes here, like, how is that going to improve your mental health? Coming to a team that literally cannot do anything. Like, it's a good fit in terms of like getting a wing player or a forward because they don't have that. But like, is he really going to even be engaged? Or like you just said, is he just going to go home and, you know, do his thing and show up to work and just
That's true, man. It's
like
true.
that's another tough thing. Like,
If the guy doesn't want to play for a good team, why is he going to want to play for a bad one?
right. Like you're going to send him to a non-competitive place. Like, is he really going to like give it his all?
Yeah, no, I don't see that happening. I don't see him going to a bad team that he knows isn't going to win anything and dropping 30-point triple doubles and going to the rim hard. Like, no, I don't see it.
Mhm. And that's why it makes no sense because you have a decent chance to win here. And you're that stubborn. Like you said earlier, you're
He
that
doesn't have
stubborn.
mental health.
You're
Because
that
that doesn't make
stubborn.
sense either. If he was playing for a bad team for like 4 years, then maybe he would have depression issues because, I'm in a situation. I'm never going to win. I hate playing here. All this stuff. Who goes back-to-back 50-win seasons and all of a sudden isn't mentally ready to play?
I hate this situation. I really do.
How long have we been talking about this guy? This is still happening.
Dude, this is rough. I miss when we were 8-2, and I'm mad that we had to get our momentum broken up for this because
Yeah, but I love that it really comes to light the got people that don't actually watch the game that post in like Facebook groups and stuff because they have no idea what's going on. Somebody posted, "Oh, we're about to be 9-9. What a disgrace of a franchise. Like we
dude,
just randomly fell off."
dude, you have people. I'm seeing people say, "Oh, well, this guy Ben, he's still a top 30 player, when he's playing." No, he's not.
Top 30 player.
No, he's not good.
I put out a tweet last night and I knew it was controversial because people still don't want to admit it, but I just said Tyrese Maxey is better than Ben Simmons. This is crazy. Like who would have thought? And some people were responding like, he's good and his progression is great, but he's not at that level yet. At what level? At what level? 5 points in a game 7? What level? Tyrese Maxey's better than Ben Simmons at 21 years old. It's sad. I don't care about his defense. I really don't.
Yep.
Give
Been
me people
calling
that
it
can
out
play
for too
basketball.
long.
The guy can't play basketball.
Yeah.
He'd probably be a pretty good like NFL tight end.
Yeah.
Imagine that. 6'10", that fast.
Yeah, but you got to have the dog in you. You got to have the mentality.
Yeah, he doesn't like contact. He would get hit one time and
He'd be a
quit.
good golf player.
6'10" golfer.
No noise in the crowd, just
That's true. You're not even allowed to boo people. Get kicked out.
this is tough, man. But anyway, we still got 230 people in here. You guys are the best, man. Thank you, for being here again on a late night. We definitely want to get back to doing this. I still see people asking, what's going on with your channel. So if you guys are in here, by the way, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to both of our channels down on the banner. But for the people that may just be tuning in, let them know what's going on, like when you're going to be back and all.
Yeah, it should be back in a couple of days. We had a copyright claim that automatically locks your channel for 14 days. Well, when you get 3 strikes, it locks the channel for 14 days. Okay, I didn't know one person for one song could file 4 strikes in one day. The YouTube system is ridiculous. So anyway, somebody can file a lot of strikes on your channel and it locks it up for 14 days. It doesn't matter who you are. It's happened to really big YouTubers from random trolls on the internet. They can just go in and claim, hey, this guy's using my content. And YouTube says, okay, you have 14 days to prove to us that this is yours. Or 14 days to prove to us that you're suing this person or whatever. Either way, it locks your channel for 14 days. That's what I've been dealing with.
Pretty much what he's saying is he pulled a 2-5 on us. That's what happened.
Yes.
He's out for personal reasons.
Yeah, I'm out for personal reasons. It has not been good for my mental health. I will say that. I was angry for a couple days. I was confused for a while. I was scared in the beginning because I thought my YouTube channel could get banned for life because you sign on, it's a big like red screen, and it's like your channel is about to be removed permanently, and you won't be able to make a new channel unless you dispute these claims. And then I had to read about it and I had to talk to some people that've been through it. Yeah, but
Go show him some love, man. Go show his channel some love. He needs y'all firing on that first video he drops, you know. So definitely get him back going.
Keep your noties on.
Right. Keep them notifications on. But yeah, someone said Orlando. No way he's playing in Orlando. No way. Seth, what's going on, my guy? Thanks for being
he would like Florida. You know?
Yeah, but who are the Magic going to give us for him? Markelle Fultz?
It's true, man.
Cole Anthony, that kid is a baller, man. Cole Anthony's that dude.
Yeah, they're not trading him.
Who else? Jalen Suggs? No. Who else? Carter? No. I don't know who else they would trade. Who's the highest paid person on the Magic? Like Terrence Ross? Like,
it sucks. We have to hope that people still think he has trade value.
Yeah, we needed him to come back for 5 games and do what he had to do. And he did.
Or we have to hope that there's a GM out there that can say, all right, this dude just doesn't want to be in Philly. This didn't work out. He doesn't fit next to Joel. Maybe when he comes to our team, he'll play like he did, these certain games or whatever. I don't know. That's too much of a maybe.
Put it back up. He's not. There's just nothing we can do. Like, terrible. Send him to Sacramento. That's the wave I'm on. Give me Buddy, Tyrese Halliburton, and a first-round pick. Boom.
I would take that. I don't know. That sounds like a lot to give up for Ben Simmons.
That's true. But Sacramento, they don't have enough room for their guards. Or give us Davion Mitchell. I'm fine with that. I wanted to draft that guy. They're not giving us Fox, I'll tell you that.
Jaylen Brown for 25, someone said now.
See, I just don't get that, though. Like, from a Celtics perspective.
I say, if Daryl Morey wants a star in return or somebody that's going to make you a championship team, then you got to package first-round picks with Ben Simmons. You got to say, I want to win a championship in the next 3 years. I'll give you a 2020. I'll give you what? What's after 3 years from now? I'll give you 2024, 2025, and 2026. There. Now if we suck after Joel Embiid's done, you have some real, that would, then the team would be hoping like, hey, maybe we'll run into a Brooklyn Nets situation where we have a bunch of first-round picks from a team that wasn't supposed to be bad, but now they are. I think that's what you would have to do to get a Jaylen Brown on the Boston Celtics right now.
I would do that. I would give up multiple picks.
Yeah.
I think that half of the GMs that Daryl's called have probably hung up on him. That's just my thoughts. Like, they're probably like, yeah, we'll do Marcus Smart in a second. He's like, let me get Jason Tatum and Grant Williams.
I'm starting to think he never answered the phone. I'm starting to think he's never even taken a call on Ben Simmons. And he just keeps telling like somebody to tell Shams or telling somebody to tell Woj that tell him I asked for 5 first-round picks and 3 pick swaps and all their young players. And he's just sitting back laughing, buying NFTs. Just trolling. Daryl Morey's a funny dude, man. He doesn't like look or sound like a rich, like kind of executive kind of guy. So maybe he's just literally having a blast. This feet
he's
up
a basketball hound, though. Like, I know he wants to win.
Yeah,
could you imagine like 2-5 traded for Marcus Smart, 2 NFTs and 5 Bitcoin? Like,
I just think Daryl knows. He knows he wants to be here for probably a long time. Daryl Morey's how old? What's he, like 50? He's probably like, listen, I'm gonna be a GM. Yeah, no, but I think he's probably like, I plan on still being a GM for a long time. I'm not going to screw myself 5 years from now because this guy wants to force a trade. So no, I'm not doing that.
Dang, man. I just can't wait till I can't wait till this is done, and I can't wait to see what the trade actually is. Like that will be maybe one of the most historic days in sports after all the talks. Like when we finally find out what he gets moved for.
Yeah, Buddy Hield was talking to Doc Rivers and covering his mouth with his jersey. Did you see that?
Yeah. You remember Buddy a couple years ago? We were making videos about it. Like, everybody's in his comment section, like Buddy to Philly, and he's like posting these cryptic things. Like Buddy literally said,
He
huh?
was liking all the
Yeah,
Instagram. Yeah.
exactly. And he literally said that one day, it wasn't last year, but the year before, like after the bubble. I remember the exit interview, he was literally like, they were like, "Are you coming back to the Kings?" essentially. And he was like, I really don't have an answer on that. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't want to be there. Now they're benching him. Like, come on, man.
Before he got the contract, he openly said, he's like, well, if they're not going to pay me the money I want, someone else is going to pay me.
Dude, that is the worst franchise.
He straight up called out the whole franchise several times.
The worst franchise. You got what's his name? Tristan Thompson calling out the franchise and flexing on us. He was flexing on Charles Bassey, and then he lost. Come on, man. They acquired Tristan Thompson.
I didn't even realize that. I didn't even know it was him. He's got like Iverson braids going on now, right? Yeah, I didn't even know it was him.
Dude.
Wow. He was just happy to be closer to the Kardashians.
He called out the entire team on Saturday. Then they fire their coach. He was like, "I don't need no coach to tell me what to do." Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, come on, dude.
Morris says, Hield doesn't play defense. Please, no. My buddy, you just got to get over this stuff. You got to get over this overrated thing about somebody playing lockdown defense. You have to get over it. It's just not that valuable. Teams are winning championships, winning games 138 to 136 in game 7. This Ben's a lockdown defender thing literally doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's cool. It's great. It's fun to watch. I like it when Luka Doncic tries to get past Ben Simmons and he can't do it. It's fun to watch, but it's not that valuable. Yeah. You need a guy that can score.
Yeah. I'm thinking Sacramento or Portland, honestly. CJ or whatever the Kings have to offer us.
Maybe Cleveland because it's the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
And,
but what's his name? Sexton's out for the season.
The thing about that's true too. Well, then there's another reason to trade for Ben. And it's Cleveland, like it's the middle of Ohio. Nobody knows what's going on there. They really don't. They don't even like read the internet. It's
They're
a bunch
playing
of like
3 big men.
You could trade for Ben Simmons and just tell him he's a superstar, and everyone in Ohio would believe you.
Yeah.
They don't even know Dave Chappelle's there. He's been living there forever. He quit the Chappelle show, and he's lived on a farm in Ohio. Nobody even knows he's there. He's like, what place can I go where nobody will know me? He went to Ohio.
Dude, this is a terrible situation. At the end of the day, that's what we've come down to. This is a terrible situation, and we're tired of it. So go make a trade, make it happen. Let's beat the Warriors tomorrow night and shock the NBA. And then we come home, beat the Timberwolves, and then we go on like a 5-game win streak. Get Joel back, get him healthy. And
Buddy Hield doesn't win in Sacramento. Nobody's saying Buddy Hield's.
Who
what
said
would make you think Buddy Hield's going to lead the Kings to anything? He's just a shooter. You're getting a shooter in return for Ben Simmons.
Dude, Sacramento's not winning anything. They haven't made the playoffs for 15 years. They've drafted how many times in the top 10? I mean,
they're just
dude.
The Bagley over Luka Doncic thing. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
They've gotten so lucky with these dudes that have fell to them, right? De'Aaron Fox fell to, I think it was number 6. Halliburton fell to number 12. Mitchell fell to, what was it, number 7, whatever. Like, dude, they have so many of these dudes. Like, come on. They got Harrison Barnes averaging 20 a game. Like, you're telling me they can't even make the playoffs? Come on.
I think Malik Monk went higher than De'Aaron Fox. Maybe not.
No,
but I remember Malik Monk being like the more hyped one of the two of Kentucky.
Right. And they get I mean, they get De'Aaron Fox. That's another one. They end up paying him a max contract. Like, I don't know, man. Kings it is. Get him to California, do what he has to do, and that's that. But other than that, shout out to everybody in the chat. Can the Sixers get the dub tomorrow night? Let's hope. It's going to be a tough one. 10 p.m. Thanksgiving Eve. Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be DJing a party.
There you go.
I won't be able to see that.
Hopefully you won't miss too much. But
I'm gonna hopefully next year I'll just be doing YouTube and not doing that because I need to retire. I'm tired.
now he's trying to go back into retirement.
I'm trying to retire from DJing.
There you go.
It's too much. It's too crazy of a lifestyle. I'm 35.
There you go.
Yeah.
We'll see, man. But yeah, go support his channel. Go show him some love. We'll be back. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It was nice talking with everyone. I know it's kind of been like a lot of the same because a lot of the dudes have been out, but we'll be back. You know, we'll be healthy soon. We'll be doing our thing. Yeah, guys, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. Shout out to all the callers. Yeah, you guys will see us soon, man. Everybody have a great rest of your night. And
thanks for bringing me on, man. Thanks for letting me explain it to the people. You know?
Yeah.
Martian, you can't hear my DJ mixes anywhere. I haven't recorded a DJ mix in like 10 years. I've literally been doing it as a job for a long time. So yeah, there's no DJ Eastwood mixes out there anymore. I like it, but I haven't taken it seriously for a long time. It's just the money's easy.
Got to make another channel, man. DJ channel.
Nah, not interested.
All right. Take it. Clark says we're losing by 30 tomorrow. Bet on that.
Maybe, I hope it's a close game and Steph hits like a game-winning 3 and like celebrates because that'll be fun for me to laugh at. You know, like somebody like Julius Randle celebrating and flexing because they beat 7 players, you know.
I hope Seth hits a game winner in Golden State.
That would be the ultimate.
That'd be the best.
If they make it a close, if they actually make it a close game,
I think we're
going to be talking even higher than we're talking right now.
I think they will. And it's like, I don't want to sound terrible with this, but like if Tobias Harris is out, I think it's going to be a close game. I just don't think Tobias works without Joel because Doc's just going to get too Tobias heavy, like we said earlier.
Yeah, without Joel, it has to be really creative players on the floor that can ISO, and Tobias can't ISO anyway.
Right. And the ball's just going to be moving if Tobias isn't playing. So, but I feel like he is going to play. So,
if they win, if my channel's back tomorrow and they win, if they win and my channel's back the day after, I'm going nuts.
I love it. I love it. The 15-2 Warriors, man. Who did they lose to? They lost to Charlotte and who else? Let's see.
It's crazy. It's so crazy that they're 15.
Memphis and Charlotte. So, yeah. Well, let's hope we get the dub. But anyway, shout out to everybody for tuning in. Thank you guys so much. As always, be safe. Appreciate y'all and have a great rest of your night. Catch you on the next one, man. Peace.